Right now, you are being told a lie. The lie is that Mars is our second home. We've been conditioned to look at that rusted, radiation-blasted desert and see a future. But what if we've been looking at the wrong planet, or rather, the wrong world entirely? Imagine a place where you don't need a pressurized spacesuit to keep your skin from boiling. A place where the sky is a thick, hazy gold, and you could strap cardboard wings to your arms and literally fly like a bird. This isn't science fiction. This is Titan, a moon of Saturn that defies everything we thought we knew about survival in the vacuum of space.
Welcome to Deep Science Explained. Today, we are challenging the red planet's monopoly on our imagination. For decades, the mystery of the universe has been focused on the red dawn of Mars. But as we peel back the layers of planetary science, a startling paradox emerges.
Mars may be closer, but Titan may be kinder. While Mars tries to kill you in seconds with a vacuum and cosmic rays, Titan offers a warm, thick blanket of nitrogen. It is a world that is eerily, almost hauntingly like Earth, except for one thing. It's made of gasoline and ice. How could a moon a billion miles away be safer than our closest neighbor? And why haven't we packed our bags yet? Let's start with the most immediate threat to human life in space: the pressure. On Mars, the atmosphere is so thin, less than 1% of Earth, that it's effectively a vacuum. If your suit rips on Mars, the drop in pressure causes the oxygen to fizz out of your blood. You don't just suffocate, you boil from the inside out. But on Titan? Titan is the only moon in the solar system with a substantial atmosphere. In fact, it's 50% thicker than Earth's. You wouldn't need a pressurized suit. You just need a very warm coat and an oxygen mask. But here's where it gets crazy. Because the gravity on Titan is so low, about 1/7 of Earth's, and the air is so dense, the physics of movement change entirely. If you stood on the shores of a methane lake on Titan, you could leap 6 feet into the air with a gentle push. If you attached wings to your suit, you could generate enough lift to soar over the landscape just by flapping your arms. On Mars, you are a heavy, clunky explorer trapped in a pressurized cage. On Titan, you are an acrobat in a golden sky. Energetic and warm. Deep Science Explained isn't just about facts, it's about reimagining the human experience. Can you imagine the first human colony where the primary mode of transportation is flight? To understand the sheer abundance of Titan, we have to look at its energy. On Mars, every kilowatt of power is a struggle. Solar panels are choked by global dust storms that can last for months, and the sun itself is a distant, pale imitation of the light we see on Earth. But Titan? Titan is a chemical gold mine. Because of its hydrocarbon cycle, the moon is covered in massive lakes of liquid methane and ethane. Lake Ontario, a feature on Titan's surface, is larger than Earth's Lake Superior and contains enough liquid fuel to power the entire United States for centuries. On Mars, we are scavengers. On Titan, we are kings of energy. We wouldn't just be surviving, we would have the resources to build industrial-scale civilizations without ever worrying about the energy poverty that plagues other space colonies. This is the big discovery. We've been looking for a place with water, but we should have been looking for a place with workability. Titan's chemistry allows for the creation of plastics, polymers, and complex materials right on the surface. We could literally 3D print a city using the ground beneath our feet. However, Titan has a dark side. Literally, it is cold. Not just winter and Antarctica cold, but minus 179 degrees Celsius. At these temperatures, water ice becomes as hard as granite. The rocks you see in photos from the Huygens probe aren't minerals. They are frozen water. The rain isn't H2O, it's liquid methane and ethane. Titan is a bizarro Earth where the hydrological cycle is replaced by a hydrocarbon cycle. Did you know that Titan has more liquid hydrocarbons, essentially fuel, than all the oil and gas reserves on Earth combined?
On Mars, we have to struggle to synthesize fuel from the thin air. On Titan, you are literally standing on a gas station the size of a planet. This brings us to the science explained behind the most silent killer in space: radiation.
Mars has no global magnetic field and almost no atmosphere. This means the surface is constantly hammered by galactic cosmic rays and solar flares. Living on Mars means living in a bunker, buried under meters of regolith to avoid terminal cancer. Titan, however, has a massive, thick atmospheric shield. It's so thick that radiation barely touches the surface. You could spend your whole life walking around Titan's dunes and receive less radiation than you do on Earth. In the long run, Titan is the only place in the solar system where humans could live outdoors, if we can solve the problem of the cold. But how do we live in a world that is minus 179 degrees?
This is where Deep Science Explained gets into the engineering of the future. We wouldn't build on top of the ice, we would build inside it. Ice is an incredible insulator. By melting pressurized tunnels into Titan's ice bedrock, we could create sprawling underground metropolises that are naturally shielded from the outside cold.
Because the atmosphere is so thick, we would need heavy airlocks. A simple double-door system would suffice. Inside these habitats, the waste heat from our nuclear reactors or methane burners would be enough to keep the environment at a balmy 20 degrees Celsius.
Furthermore, Titan's atmosphere is mostly nitrogen, just like Earth's. We wouldn't have to manufacture our air from scratch. We would simply need to filter out the trace organic hazes and add oxygen. On Mars, the air is toxic CO2. On Titan, the air is just unenriched Earth air.
What if the key to our survival isn't finding a planet that looks like Earth, but finding one that functions like it? As the legendary Carl Sagan once said, the Earth is a very small stage in a vast cosmic arena. Our planet is a lonely speck in the great enveloping cosmic dark. Titan reminds us that the dark isn't always empty. Beneath Titan's icy crust lies a hidden ocean of liquid water, an environment that might already host its own mystery of the universe: alien life. If we go to Titan, we aren't just looking for a home, we are looking for neighbors. The big discovery here is that Titan is arguably the most Earth-like body in the solar system in terms of its complex chemistry and shielding. While Mars is a fossil of a world that died billions of years ago, Titan is a world in its prebiotic prime. It is a chemical laboratory that looks exactly like Earth did before life began. By moving to Titan, we aren't just moving to a moon, we are moving back in time to our own origins. The psychological impact of living on Titan would be vastly different from Mars.
On Mars, the sky is a salmon pink during the day and blue at sunset, a reverse of Earth that feels fundamentally wrong to our biology. On Titan, the sky is a deep, hazy orange. It's perpetual twilight.
Because Titan is tidally locked to Saturn, the massive ringed planet would hang motionless in the sky, a gargantuan presence 100 times larger than our moon. Imagine walking out of your habitat to see the rings of Saturn arching over the horizon like a celestial bridge. It is an image of such profound beauty that it might mitigate the space sickness and depression that long-term astronauts often face. Deep Science explains that humans don't just need calories and oxygen, we need awe. Titan provides that in a way Mars never could.
So why Mars? Mars is the logical first step because it's a 6-month trip. Titan is a 7-year journey. Mars is a logistical challenge. Titan is a multi-generational odyssey. But as Deep Science Explained reveals, the best home isn't the one that is closest. It's the one that lets us be human. Titan allows us to breathe, with help, to fly, and to be protected by the sky. In the end, we have to ask ourselves, are we looking for a place to survive or a place to live?
Mars offers a survivalist's existence in a red cage. Titan offers a frontier of flight and endless energy under a golden haze. Perhaps the greatest twist of all is that the most hospitable place for our species isn't a planet at all. It's a moon, hidden in the rings of a gas giant, waiting for us to stop being afraid of the distance.
Maybe reality isn't about the rocks we can reach, but the horizons we can imagine. What if the future of humanity isn't red, but gold? I'm your host, and this has been Deep Science Explained. If this shift in perspective sparked your curiosity, hit the like button and subscribe. The universe is far stranger than we were told. In our next episode, we'll uncover something even stranger, the ocean worlds of Europa and Enceladus, where life might be thriving in total darkness.